Well, I think Shelley knew that there was something there because she had done the project in 2006 and found it so transformative. When I started out, I was just, trying to help a friend and didn't really realize the significance of it. When my daughter had such a powerful time and when Robert became, such an important part of our family life, that really helped me see a more positive path forward. But I think the first time I really knew that something was there was the day that we launched in 2016. And that was the first Saturday after Hillary Clinton lost. And we were at the Bake House. So we had put, over a year's work into this. And we had been planning to launch this project with our first female president and thought there was going to be such a nice synchronicity there. In fact, our last Bold Beauty planning meeting before the election, I said, guys, I really have to hang up because I have to go to the Hillary victory party. And they said, what do you mean she hasn't won yet? I'm like, guys, come on, I got to run. Like complete smile on my face, couldn't get there fast enough. And then at around 8 o'clock, 7:30, Shelley starts texting me, you watching? I'm like, yeah, I'm watching. So that was not a good week. And then when we were at the Bake House, I think that's when the protests were just starting and people were starting to fill the streets that Saturday. So I was standing there amongst all these incredible portraits, figuring no one will come. Who's going to come out today? We're all in a terrible mood. And if they try to come, there won't be any traffic. So I guess this was all for nothing. And I was really crestfallen. And the event was called for 6. And then at 5:45, a couple people showed. I was like, Miami early, that's unusual. And then more and more. And by 6 o'clock, we had probably 40 people there. And by the end of the night, we had many hundreds. So I think that was the first night when I thought, oh yeah, this might work. People had an amazing time. And it was an event unlike any other because we had 27 different women who have disabilities, or as my daughter prefers to say, different abilities. And each one was the celebrity. So they were standing by their pictures. They were mobbed by hundreds of people back in the good old days when you could see people. And lights were flashing everywhere. Everyone was taking pictures of all these women. The photographers were so happy to see their work so well received. The families were all there. It was truly a magical event. And lots of people spoke, and you've heard those beautiful words in the movie from Robert Zuckerman. And I think, that was a real high for us. And then, as I mentioned, serendipity stepped in with the Lesters, and we were given lots of other platforms to keep our work out there. And so those same 27 images were shown many, many times over the next several years. And the smaller events were very different because what would happen is we would have a booth. Each photo would be displayed alongside a biography of the woman. So we would stand at this booth for days on end, and different people would kind of walk in, and different portraits and different stories would catch their eye. And as a psychiatrist, it was so fascinating to see people's reactions. And then we would get to engage them and we would get to talk to them. And people started sharing stories because disability impacts everyone. It's not something that, doesn't happen. If we're all old enough, we're going to be lucky if we get to be disabled. So it's really a universal phenomena. And so people would come up and they would tell us, my grandson has this, or, my daughter has this, or one beautiful woman said, I'm supposed to lose my hearing. And we happened to have Zoraida, our model right there, who was hearing impaired, and they talking and they bonded, and just incredible things were unfolding right in front of our eyes. One of the best moments was I was talking to a man. My daughter walked up and I said, this is my daughter, Joy. And he said, and he ran away. So I had no idea what happened. And a few hours later, his daughter came up to me and said, listen, I just wanted to tell you that I'm sorry my dad left, but he was so overcome with emotion because he didn't realize that was your daughter. And he has had her postcard up all year long looking at it because he's had family members dealing with cancer. And he kept your daughter's photo up to be inspired. And when he saw you there with your daughter, he was just so overcome by emotions, he had to walk away. So it's been really, the most meaningful thing that I've had the opportunity to partake in a fairly long career at this point. So I know it needs to carry on and to continue and to get bigger, and we need to touch more lives. And I think COVID has really given us an opportunity to see how much health matters, and that health issues are not something that any of us are immune from, pun intended. They can strike all of us at any time. And we as a society have to learn how to take care of people that are differently abled, embrace them.